Hey book reader friends, this is Christy with Tatted Hecko Reads. We are now THG Lit Media, and we will talk about that, but not today. Also, really quickly, thank you. We have passed 100 subscribers, and I am thankful to each and every one of you. Every time I look in the app, there's another person added, and I so appreciate you being here. But today, I want to also talk about 2 books that I'm currently reading and the mysterious post from Sarah J. Maas. What is up with that? I have some views on it, and I have done some research, and I have seen what other people are saying, and I think we should talk about it. That one's going to be at the end of the video. Let's first dive into what I'm currently reading, and these will not be deep dives on these 2 reads because they're not finished. I'm about 30% on each of these. I am audiobooking and ebooking, and this week I've kind of taken a slower pace to my reading, but let's talk about the first one, The Will of the Many. Fantastic, main character being Vis. I don't know what I'm going to project this one at. Normally I can kind of tell where we're headed, but this one I cannot. There's a lot of secrets that are being revealed to you slowly. Even the main character is not who you think he is. The people that he runs across are not who he thinks they are. He's being told to do these certain things and being kind of navigated and kind of puppeteered, and it's interesting to see what people want from him and why they want what they want from him. And it's an interesting opening. I would say the first line grips you, but it does seem like that first line was done to grip you, and then it was like, wait, what? I don't know why we had that first line. I'm hoping there's some more information later that makes that extremely fascinating and ties back to that. But then we go into kind of what Vis's jobs are. And again, I'm only about 30% in, so we don't want to do a deep dive on this. Fantastic. It does have the pacing of Robin Hobb's Farseer trilogy, and I would think that's probably going to be the rest of that series too. Is very similar paced, where secrets are divulged to you at the time that the author prefers you to know this information and finds that it's important for you to know it. You will not know it until it's time. And Will of the Many is no different. This book we are reading, a lot more lighthearted, very funny. There's a character in The Night and the Moth that is a gargoyle. There are many gargoyles, but there's one, and again, this is going to be spoiler free, but there is one that has such a cute and adorable sense of humor. He's very protective of the main character, and I am so in love with the writing of Rachel Gillig as always. I can already predict to you that this one is going to be a 5-star for me. She would have to do something totally crazy for this to not be a 5-star. She'd have to ruin it and just go off the rails somewhere. I have enjoyed the pacing of it. It's kind of transverse, so you are traveling a little bit here and there between 2 different places so far. At 30%, it could evolve. There are gargoyles. There's an abyss. There is roughly 6 characters that live in this place where they are religious and they are viewed as kind of holy and superior, and their friendship is beautiful and sweet, and they're just there for each other. Speaking of the 6, they are numbered 1 through 6. They lose their initial names, and that's all I'm going to say on that, because again, I don't want to deep dive or spoil this because I'm not done. I'm only 30% in, but I also don't want spoilers for you. And it is just a beautiful cover too. I think there's a special edition somewhere out there, but I don't have it and probably won't end up getting it unless something just amazing comes out. But I am loving the book. Audiobook, ebook, and physical book, immersion reading, and then sometimes just doing housework while listening to it. I will say one thing about the audiobook versus reading it. You will miss some of the humor if you zone out for a second. The gargoyle, when he's on set, so to speak, is so funny, but it's thrown in so quickly and sprinkled in, like just a little bit of salt, a little bit of sugar. And you're just like, what? Rewind, you want to come back to it. I'm loving it. This one, I actually just have to do something crazy to make it less than 5 star. The whole reason why we're here, Sarah J. Maas's mysterious Instagram post. Let's talk about it. Because of the name change, I do want to be able to dive more into these author reviews and these publication reviews. This one will be the first one of that. This is the first author review I've done. this one was the perfect one to start. When she closes the notebook, someone pointed this out and then I had to go back and actually catch it. She closes her notebook, which is just a composition notebook. I swear to God, I think I've seen those like at either Walmart or my school or something like that in the school bookstore, where it's like they got the almost green coloring. It's really pretty. But it has A Court of Thorn and Roses on the cover. Dad gave away that it has something particular to do with that series. We obviously know it wasn't going to be A Throne of Glass. She's done with that. 8 books with a novella. That's done. That was my favorite series of hers, won't lie. It's just, dealing with an assassin trying to win the king's favor. I find it just so thrilling. But A Court of Thorn and Roses is magical as well. I was going to stop at book 1. Someone said, no, keep going. I promise it gets better. I'm so glad I did. So glad. I kept going. Starting with book 3, I literally looked at my husband and said, this woman can write a battle scene. A war scene is so... I felt like I was there and being rumbled by the people on the field. It was just spectacular. I kept going to book 2. I was struggling getting through the beginning phases of it because I really didn't care at the time about the 2 main characters. That definitely evolved. And then to get into, I want to be careful not to give a spoiler for Crescent City, but I think everyone realizes there's a tie-in with A Court of Thorn and Roses and Crescent City Book 3. I am curious, is there going to now be a back feed of a crossover into A Court of Thorn and Roses? Are we looking at a full book? Are we looking at a novella? A lot of people are speculating that this will be a full book, but she wrote the word drafts. So there's also speculation, is she doing more than one book? Is she doing a novella and a full book? What does she mean with the plural drafts? I am going wild because if she does do a back feed from Crescent City Book 3 into A Court of Thorn and Roses versus the other way around, my husband will have to read that series because he won't understand the things that he's missing. He's already out of the loop on some of the Crescent City Book 3 information because he didn't get the backstory from A Court of Thorn and Roses. And I remember reading Crescent City Book 3 and just being like, oh my God, I just finished this series and I was craving more. And now here it is. And now even more so, I'm hoping she kind of hashes out some questions about Book 3 of Crescent City that I felt like she was just too fast at divulging. Book 3 could have been 2 or 3 novellas, to be honest with you. And I would have rather seen that than see her rush through. I've loved this series, so I was very disappointed in the way Book 3 went. So was my husband, and I think many people had that same feeling that the book felt too rushed. But now I do wonder, in A Court of Thorn and Roses, are we going to get some information and crossover? What are your thoughts about that? I am curious. Do you think this is going to be a full book? Do you think it's going to be a novella? Or do you think it's going to be a combination? I don't think it's going to be multiple books, full-size books, because it takes a minute to write, books the size that she writes. And I'm happy for her. It was very cute to watch her pop the cork of the champagne and then squill out. And I'm so here for it, but it's just a draft. She might have to come back and make edits, which is very typical of any writer, even skilled ones. And I'm now like, okay, are we going to get it by 2026? Do you think we're going to get it at the end of 2025? Anything could happen right now. That post was so cryptic and so evil. But at the same time, I appreciate it because it kind of took me back to Crescent City 3 and the way that ended, and then hashing that out and thinking about it. And then it's just been in my head ever since I saw that post, and I just knew I had to come on here and talk about it because I'm curious what other people are thinking about. Especially, you read the same books that I do. We're both fantasy readers and romantasy readers even, and fiction readers. And this book series is no different. We want to know what she's thinking. What is she going to do? Sarah J. Maas is very brilliant in her writing style. Crescent City 3 could have been a little better, but if she brings some information into Court of Thorn and Roses, let's say, about Tamlin, that would be so rad if there was some kind of tie-in. I think when Crescent City 4 comes out, or novella, whatever she decides to do, I think it's going to be Tamlin's perspective. I think we may all think that, but I am curious if she's going to change her mind or change directions. I don't know how she would work that into A Court of Thorn and Roses either, if there's a space for Tamlin at all in that. Whose perspective then, when we think of it like that, whose perspective would A Court of Thorn and Roses book, 7? Who would that be about? No, this would be book 6. So who would this perspective be from? Which perspective would this be from? Really, I'm at a loss, and I'm kind of like, maybe I need to revisit the whole series again before it comes out, because the speculation is wild and the possibilities are endless. I pray it's more than just a novella, since she wrote plural drafts. I'm kind of hoping it's one of each, but she wouldn't release those within the same year, would she? Very curious, and something to really think about. But you guys, that is it for this video. A lot of speculation between Sarah J. Maas and myself on what she was thinking. I'm curious what you think she was thinking. Get in the comments and let's have a spoiler-free, obviously, conversation about what we think is going to happen. We have to be careful what we say about book 3 with Crescent City, because if you say too much, you're going to spoil it. If you think there's going to be tie-ins, be careful. Or if you're going to write a spoiler review, put spoiler above and then write your comment so that someone knows they can scroll past. I want to thank you all for being here so much. We have surpassed 100 subscribers, and that may not be a lot of followers, but each one of you means so much to me, and I appreciate you being here. I get excited when I see another one of you engaging, and so many of you have been commenting again, and I appreciate that. It's been nice to be able to have conversations. This is a space we love, and to be able to communicate with other people that are like-minded is just magical. It really is. It's a dream come true. But thank you all for being here, and we will talk again soon. Bye.